Just start the fucking intro. I will try to keep as calm as I possibly can for this rant, but I'm not making any fucking promises, okay? 3 to 4 months I've been waiting for this. 3 fucking months! Okay, give me a second. Let me calm down. In and out. For the people who don't know, it is now 2014. It's a time to think about how you're going to better yourself as a person. How you're going to change this. How you're going to change that. You know, all the bullshit lies that you tell yourself the first week of 2014.
Cass, I'm going to better myself this year. I'm going to join a gym and make something of myself.
Okay.
Or at least that's what we tell ourselves anyway. The people who continue to do their resolutions are the people who are going to do them anyway. It had nothing to do with a New Year's resolution anyway. However, when are we supposed to tell these things to people? That's right, leading up to the New Year's Eve, or even better, on New Year's Eve, when you're drinking and partying with your friends that you're trying to impress. 2013 was going to be that year for me. I finally had some great plans and I was finally going to do something with my life. And all of that came fucking tumbling down at the last fucking second. For me, I was going to spend New Year's Eve on 2013 at Wet n Wild in Sydney, a new built theme park that's boasting to be the biggest in Australia. I was going to ring in the new year listening to shit bands, putting up with drugged up fucking tweens, and bringing in the new year in style by sliding down water slides at the stroke of midnight. However, 6 fucking hours before the event was supposed to start, the event planner, One Cube Entertainment, postponed the event due to technical difficulties. No information was given to why it was actually cancelled, and at the time they were not giving refunds out because they had simply postponed the event and not cancelled it. I'm sorry, One Cube Entertainment, but you cannot postpone a New Year's Eve event. New Year's Eve only happens once a fucking year. If you postpone it, you're fucking cancelling it. I did not buy an Australian Day event ticket. I bought a New Year's Eve fucking event ticket. I did not purchase the ticket thinking that it was going to be postponed to the 26th of January because you couldn't continue fucking up. I do not want to celebrate Aussie Day and listening to your shit fucking bands. I want to sit at home and not be Australian on that day. To all the Australians that I deeply offended then, I really do apologise. I just think that with Tony Abbott as our Prime Minister at the moment, Australia is totally fucked. And with that being said, I am not technically Australian as long as that mongrel is in power. But the bad news didn't stop there. No. I was already on the train when I heard about the cancellation because they decided to tell you 6 hours before the event was supposed to start. They didn't give anybody 24 hours notice to be able to make new plans, so I had to call my 2 friends who also bought tickets that day and tell them that the event that we had been looking forward to for months had been cancelled. You can imagine their surprises when I told them. They thought I was joking. No one on this planet could be much of a scumbag to cancel a New Year's Eve event 6 hours before it was supposed to start. Not only that, but I'd already booked the train ticket, I booked accommodation, and I'd already paid for the booking fee for a taxi and petrol in advance to have my friend take me home the next day. For people who don't know me on a personal level, I am a very, very broke man. The ticket was actually purchased as a Christmas present, so thankfully I didn't have to pay $110 for that. But now that's been wasted. But not only that, but all the money that I'd put in myself, scraped and saved to do this, was now just completely fucking wasted. One Cube Entertainment and Wet n Wild Sydney decided to leave 10,000 people plus high and dry 6 hours before it was supposed to start on New Year's Eve, leaving hundreds, if not thousands of people with nowhere else to go. There were 10,000 people coming to this event, including one guy who flew from Auckland. How fucking pissed would you be if you flew to come to this event and have it cancelled 6 fucking hours before it was supposed to fucking start? And as you would expect, One Cube Entertainment was blaming Wet n Wild Sydney. Wet n Wild Sydney was blaming One Cube Entertainment. No one could tell me what the fuck was going on. So I decided to find out for myself. I continued $200 down out of my own pocket to Wet n Wild Sydney's gate, only to be met with some of the most bizarre fucking Twilight Zone shit you would expect. Every fucking gate was closed and locked up to the public. Every 10 meters there was a security guard waiting, just waiting for someone to fuck with them. And inside was a good fucking handful of police waiting, just waiting for a riot. And I was very, very disappointed that a riot didn't actually happen. I was personally looking forward to introducing the event holder's skull to the bottom of my fucking boots.
Now say goodnight.
There was anger flowing through every fiber of my fucking body. Who cancels a New Year's Eve event 6 fucking hours before it starts? I personally took it upon myself to call Wet n Wild and find out what the fuck was going on.
Hello, and welcome to Wet n Wild Sydney. This is Becky speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, my name's Scott, and I'm currently calling just outside of the gates of Wet n Wild. Can you please explain to me why I can't access the park?
Because it's closed today, sir.
I have a $110 ticket saying otherwise. You want to try that again? Why do you think that I can't enter the park? It is now 4 p.m. I have a ticket saying that I can enter now.
I'm very sorry, sir, but due to unforeseen circumstances with the planner, the event has been cancelled and the park is closed today.
Excuse me? Why the fuck was I not informed of this? I have come a long way paying for trains and accommodation to come to this fucking event. And now you tell me at the gate that it was cancelled.
I am very sorry that you have come all this way, sir. The organisers were supposed to send out word of the cancellation to all ticket holders as they were the one planning the event and we are just the venue.
I have been on a fucking train for 3 hours. I have not received a fucking message about the cancellation. It is now 4 p.m. on New Year's Eve. I have no money, and you're saying that what I've paid for, I'm not allowed to do.
I am very sorry, sir, but unfortunately it isn't our fault.
Okay, then whose fucking fault is it?
The event planner's name was One Cube Entertainment, I believe.
Okay, well if they booked you, that means you have their fucking contact number. I demand that you give me their number if you're saying it's their fault, so I can demand a refund and compensation for this major fuck up.
Unfortunately, I don't have access to the number, and I'm unable to give it to you. I'm sure if you looked it up online, there would be a phone number there.
I have already fucking looked for One Cube Entertainment, and their company doesn't exist on the internet. So either you're a fucking liar, or you're just as stupid as them. You must have a number as the venue. And as a customer of your park, seeing One Cube Entertainment doesn't have their name anywhere on this event, it's Wet n Wild's. And I'm asking you one last time. Give me the number so that I may contact the host of this venue and be reimbursed for this fuck up.
I can understand your frustration, but even if I could get the number, it could also mean me losing my job.
I don't give a fuck if you lose your job. 10,000 people just lost their New Year's Eve plans, and even though your company are not the hosting of the event, you are the venue, you must take some responsibility for this, as you were the one who booked them.
I'm sorry, sir, but as I'm sure you realize, I am just the phone operator.
No, what I realize is you're a useless cunt.
Now here comes the time of why I'm wearing a suit. The winner of the biggest cunt of 2013 award goes to this guy right here. That's right, thank you. Come on down. The biggest cunt of 2013 award goes to me. Don't worry, people, don't freak out. That was just a parody of the actual phone call. I didn't actually assault this girl. Well, for starters, it wasn't even a girl who I called. It was some dude named Darren on the other end of the line. I didn't make him cry. I didn't fucking be that much of a cunt. But they didn't give me the information I requested, which was the phone number of One Cube Entertainment. They refused to give me that phone number as a paying customer. I should be entitled to the number to be able to voice my complaints. And I might have said something about him being a useless cunt. And as many people may know by now, the so-called One Cube Entertainment cannot be contacted for comments. Wet and Wild can't contact them. New South Wales Fair Trading can't contact them. And local newspapers can't contact them. So my first thought was that these fucking cunts have skipped town. And boy, was I right. The thought train running through my head was that these cunts had skipped town. Because what kind of low-life fucking dogs cancel a New Year's Eve event 6 hours before it was supposed to start? Now, if everybody out there is getting sick and tired of me hearing that, or me saying it over and over and over again, well then let me get this across to you. It was 6 fucking hours before it was supposed to start! So as you can probably guess, with your little brains if you're a Liberal supporter and your massively proactive thinking brains if you're a Labour supporter, that my blood was fucking boiling. I was lashing out at anybody and everybody who would take the fucking blame for this big fuck up. Thanks to Facebook, I was actually able to get the phone number of a company called Trash Bags that was actually hired out by One Cube Entertainment to do all the productions and help out with this concert. Oh boy, was my blood fucking fuming when I decided to call them. I went straight on the attack. Unfortunately, the guy who picked up went straight on the defense, as you would probably admit that you would too. He decided to tell me that he was not actually in charge of One Cube Entertainment, but he did have the number of 1/4 of the people who were in charge of One Cube Entertainment. So I decided to call this piece of living shit and, voice my opinion. However, just as everyone else had found out later that afternoon, that his number was turned off. You could still contact him to leave a message, which I did, and I may have left some sort of message about leaving his head on a pike. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really matter because after the curb stomp earlier, I think we get the point that I'm pissed off! The phone number that I was given was for a Mr. Tobar, or Tobar, or whatever the fucking cunt name is. I can't pronounce it my fucking self, but as we can see here, him pigging out in the fucking food, that fat fucking mongroloid cunt, and his fucking skull would have been so good on the bottom of my fucking boot! But I digress. Look, I also found out later that night that the ABN that they'd used for One Cube Entertainment was only registered in September, 3 fucking months before it was supposed to be used at an actual event. Something is fishy here. So let me get this straight. 4 people running a company that was only registered 3 months ago and now suddenly cannot be contacted, Tabar being one, and 3 other fucking losers from this One Cube Entertainment production, whatever the fuck you cunts want to call yourself, are now on the hit list of at least 10,000 people because you decided to cancel the New Year's Eve event at the last fucking second. Oh yeah, what's that smell? It smells like a class action lawsuit brewing. That smells good. And you can bet your fucking ass if there's a class action lawsuit, I'll be involved in that. And if there's a lynching of these 4 cunts, I'll be involved in that too. So where do we currently stand? Well, thankfully, the New South Wales Fair Trading Board is behind us, the consumer. They've said that all refunds will be, guaranteed back to us, and if we have any problems, to contact them. The company that sold the tickets, Moshtix, they've also sent out emails saying that it will be refunded. But that doesn't answer the question. Where are these 4 cunts? Did Osama bin Laden hire these cunts and they're hiding out in a cave somewhere or in the middle of a bush? I hope so. I'll find those cunts. It was really good to see even Murdoch media press deciding to take action against this and, posting about it just a mere hours after the event was cancelled. Even I was quoted in a Daily Telegraph post about how I was feeling about this whole situation. At the end of the day, it turns out to be that it was Wet and Wild who cancelled the event 6 hours before it was supposed to start, due to problems that had arisen due to the smaller companies that were hired out by One Cube Entertainment who didn't do their jobs properly. There were problems with public transport. There were problems with the lighting. There was problems with the alcohol licensing. However, the funniest one is the lighting company, who had no fucking clue they were managing a fucking Wet and Wild in Sydney event. In fact, they were over in Western Australia, I believe, and now are currently suing One Cube Entertainment for claiming that it was their fault due to technical difficulties when they weren't even booked to start with. This is going to hurt Wet and Wild Sydney. Not because people are going to be like, oh, I'm never going to that fucking place again, though there are retards out there doing that, but because people are going to be very, very wary about any time that they book an event, like say Pink is playing at Wet and Wild, people might be scared that they're going to get fucked over, and rightfully so. I mean, seriously, who fucking cancel an event 6 hours before it was supposed to start and give people who have paid thousands of dollars, like the guy who came from Auckland, nowhere to go on New Year's Eve? So, no. My New Year's Eve 2013 wasn't too crash hot. Now, was my anger justified? You fucking bet it was. Something that I had been looking forward to for 3 months. One of the greatest experiences of what could have been my life, spending New Year's Eve at a Wet and Wild, was ripped out of me mere fucking seconds before it was supposed to fucking start. You can bet if this happened to anybody else, if anybody else had put as much money into this as I had, you could have bet they would have rage quit their morals and fucking flipped out as much as I would have. It would have turned the nicest fucking person into the biggest fucking cunt. Not as bad as One Cube Entertainment, but close. But now that the dust has settled and my anger has subsided, I can look at this whole situation with a new perspective. So how do I feel? Well, I'll be honest. One Cube Entertainment, if I find you or any 4 of you guys that run that, I will fucking kill you! But in all seriousness, what type of low-life fucking scumbag pulls this type of scam on 10,000 people on New Year's Eve? If I had 10 minutes alone with 1 or even 4 of the guys who run One Cube Entertainment, well, you could bet I would have spent New Year's Eve in lockup and not drowning my sorrows in a bottom of a bottle, because that's just how I roll. So I guess that's it. I guess the only thing left now to do is to sign off. So Scott NBNP out for 2014. Alright, cut. Jesus fucking Christ. Here am I fucking whinging that I didn't get to go on a water slide on New Year's Eve. There's countries out there fucking starving and their kids fucking crying out for fucking hunger. And here am I fucking being a baby. What kind of fucking lowlife cunt am I?